Are you ready? Because he's ready. It's Master Jeff, martial arts expert, instructor extraordinaire, and general clown. He's not afraid of coronavirus. He's not afraid of the bad guys. Master Jeff is not afraid of anything.
Hey guys, so today we're gonna be doing some we're gonna be doing some cool stuff today, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I hope you guys have fun too.
Hey guys, what is up? We're going to be doing some Aikido oriented towards self-defense today. Usually in class, we keep it to escape techniques, but we'll touch on the Aikido sometimes. But today we're going to delve into it a little heavier and perhaps get you guys up on the nomenclature, the vocabulary, etc. So typically with a cross grab, and you guys make sure you delineate these two. With a cross grab, we do a straight escape. Oh, and by the way, this will work best for you if you have a partner. If not, use your imaginary partner. So 7, come on up here.
Sir.
So usually with a cross grab, and that is right to right, like a handshake, except he's grabbing me. We come up and then over the top and shoot back down. So when 7 does that, actually do it with this hand. Freeze in the middle and freeze. Look at my fingers, how he's wrenching right out of the grip. So he twists them around like this to get out. Okay, that's a good way to get away, and we will use that sometimes in Aikido. But today we're not going to so much get away as we are to contain. So this time when 7 grabs me, I'm going to put my pinky up, and I'm going to come over this way. Last time we went up this way. This time we're coming around on the outside, and I'm trying to bend his elbow. You see that elbow bend? And then on the way up, I grab his wrist, and then I'm going to push it right into his face. And that number 1 pushes their body right by the shoulder, and you're on the top of their center of gravity, or their center in Aikido. So it really is disconcerting, throws you off balance. Number 2, you've got an elbow coming right at your face. It's your own elbow, yes, but it's still something flying in your face. So even psychologically, excuse me, it makes you want to push away. So then let's go over this way, little 7. So then as he's grabbing me, I'm coming up and I'm following through with this hand, and then I follow through with my body like that. You see how I stepped right into his base? You see a lot of people try this, and they'll try to all arm it like this, but they don't move their body. You see 7's not bent over, he's not off balance or anything, even though I'm like double his weight, triple his weight, maybe 4 times. How much you weigh?
87-ish.
80, so let's see, call it 90. 2 times 90 is 180. 3 times 90 is 270. Okay, I've lost a little weight. I used to be 3 7s. Now I'm 2 7s and change, because I weigh right at 210 now. Thank you very much. Okay, so you guys try that. A cross grab. Let's do the other hand, 7. A cross grab, and when he grabs me, I'm putting my pinky up, and then I'm coming over the outside, and notice I'm already starting the journey in with my body. And I'm grabbing him, following up with the other hand, hitting his elbow into his face, and then stepping on through right into his armpit like that. And at that point, I could push him on through all the way to the ground and pin him down. So you guys try that a couple of times. Good. Now you'll notice when he grabbed my wrist, remember I said pinky up, and we came around this way, right? This way, which twisted his arm this way. So one way you can divide these Aikido things up is by which way it twists Uke's arm. Ooh, and let's back up a step. The Uke in Aikido is the one who is attacking so that the Nage can respond and practice. So in Aikido, really the secret to having a good Aikido technique is to have a good Uke. A good Uke can make the Nage look good. A good Nage can look really bad with a bad Uke. So that's why especially if Master Justin is in class, who I haven't seen in ages, or Ricky Iglesias, or sometimes I'll call Master Settles in, and it looks so dramatic because he goes flying across the room and everybody's like, ooh, and then they try and, why didn't it look like that? Well, because the Uke doesn't know how to roll out and fall. So anyway, the Uke's arm in the first three techniques, the one we just did and the two next ones we're going to do, the Uke's arm rolls forward. You see how if my arm were a wheel, it would be propelling my body forward like that. Look at Seven's arm again. So when he's grabbing, I'm rolling his arm forward. Look, his arm's rolling forward. See his arm rolling forward, and eventually that makes him want to lean forward, right? So on number 2, we're going to roll forward again, only this time we're going to trap his hand first with the other hand. And I see people do this sometimes and they just put their hand right here, which does no good because he can just let go. And now my technique is blown. So when he grabs me, again, I put my pinky up, I trap his wrist, then I roll over the top and step instead of a big circle, I do a little circle. And then I just come down right on his wrist. And you can grab his forearm with your fingers like this, and that bends his arm in the shape of, very conveniently, a 2. Because it's technique number 2, also called Nikyo. So he's grabbing, I'm trapping, I'm bending his arm in the shape of a 2, and I'm pushing straight down on that wrist. Stop what you're doing. With this one, you have to be very careful. With number 1, called Ikkyo, with number 1, it can be a little clumsy and inconvenient, and the person can you can bang into them, they can go, ow, you can step on their toe, not too much damage is going to occur unless you really twist their arm and you end up pinning them on the ground. It's more of a peaceful pin. Nikyo, you can break these bones right here. And what happens with Nikyo, you're bringing their arm like this one is rolling this way, your forearm is rolling this way, and so these two bones are separating. It's like if you take 2 sticks and put them together like this, you twist them like this, no problem. If you bend them and then twist them, look, the top 2 come apart like that. That's what's happening in Nikyo, and that's what the pain is you feel in your ulna. This is the ulna. This is a radius. Radius, ulna. So your ulna is separating from your hand when you bend like that. And you can just snap it right loose. And that is permanent. When you get a cartilage or a tendon damage, that is permanent. It doesn't heal. Muscles, you can tear a muscle. You can almost sever a muscle. If you just paste it back together and hold it in place, it'll grow back. Just like a bone, you break a bone. People break bones all the time. It can like break all the way in half, sticking out your skin. Well, that old doctor just pulls them apart, puts them back together. You wear a cast and they just seam right up. Cartilage, not so much. It's pretty much a permanent thing. So be very careful as you practice Nikyo. Now 7's going to do it with me. I'm grabbing his wrist. He's going to put his pinky up. He's going to trap my hand. Oh, and you know what? I said a while ago that they grab their own arm. A lot of times they grab my arm here. But if they don't trap my hand, it does no good because I can get away. So again, he puts his pinky up, traps my hand. He can pull my arm in to bend that elbow, and he's got me in Nikyo. Now, we hardly ever go farther than that with Nikyo. We do the immobilization, and then we stop. And by the way, an immobilization means just what it says. The person is immobilized. A pin is where they're on the floor, pinned to the floor, or pinned against a wall, or pinned on something, not just immobilized. A projection is when you use the technique and you chunk them across the room and then you project them away. And a throw is when you've got a hold of them and you throw them and you still have a hold of them at the end. So you have immobilizations, pins, projections, and throws in Aikido. So let's turn this bad boy into not only an immobilization, but a pin. Let's back up just a little bit, 7, right there. So now he's grabbing me. I'm doing Nikyo, crunch. Now I hold on to him, and I just break into Ikkyo, like this. Let's back up a little more. But when I get him to the floor, instead of just pinning him like this, which you do for an Ikkyo pin, I take this hand and wrap it around this way until I've got his hand in Nikyo again. Let's get up close to the camera. So down there on the floor, I've got him this way. I set him up on my leg. I take this hand around, slip my thumb under, and catch him this way. And see, there's Nikyo again, right? So I've got him in Nikyo pinned to the floor like that. So you've got Ikkyo pin where you just have him like this. And then you've got Nikyo pin where you come around, slip your thumb under, get him in Nikyo like that on the floor. Okay, so then the third one is Sankyo. You're welcome. The third one is Sankyo, and yes, you're going to roll Uke's arm forward. In fact, 7, let's let Zoe step in for this one. So this time, Nage is going to roll Uke's arm forward by way of going under their arm. And Zoe can do this one. Usually I need 7 because he's closer to my size. But this Sankyo works well if Nage is shorter than Uke because she slips so easily right under my arm. Look at that. She just slips right under. And now look. Let go a second, Zoe. Look. My arm is rolled forward. She took it from here to here by simply walking under my arm. So when I've got a hold of her, I don't know if you noticed what she did. She grabbed a hold of me. And the grip here is important too. See how it's rolling forward? Now this hand is compromised so she can get out easily. Notice how she's got her fingers wrapped around the meat of my hand. And let's turn a little bit. And she's got her thumb right there stuck in the muscle of my thumb. That way, if I try to spin out like this, this thumb bone is blocked by her thumb. It makes it very difficult, if not impossible, to get out. 2 people of the same size or somebody with a really strong grip, you cannot get out. Now, if Zoe relied on friction and just held me like this, I could just go like this, and I might pull every hair out of my orangutan hands, but I could slip out. But if she's got that thumb in there like that, there's no getting this bone past this thumb. So with Sankyo, that's an interesting one. You can practice the Sankyo hold, the immobilization on yourself. So if you just take this hand, roll it forward until your elbow starts to come up, wrap your fingers around here, put your thumb right here in the meat of this thumb, and there is no getting out of that. And you can see that's the way you hold them in Sankyo. You see that? So then also with Sankyo, you can, the hand that I was originally grabbing, that Uke was originally grabbing, you can bring that bad boy into play and grab you a fistful of fingers, especially in a situation with somebody with a big size difference like Zoe and me. Come on up, Zoe. So after she grabs my hand in the proper grip, she's got a great grip there, and she goes under and breaks this hand free, she can supplement Sankyo by grabbing a fistful of fingers. Now she takes those fingers and that grip that she had, and she wrenches that bad boy up and keeps twisting it this way. Very nice. And even with our size difference, she was hurting my wrist. Once again, you're twisting the hand against the radius and ulna, and you can break that cartilage right loose. Now, it's going to be hard. Like if I tried to do Sankyo to Zoe, it's pretty much not going to happen unless I really wrench her around and just grab it. But I can't get under her arm, right? Even with 7, I don't think I could make it under his arm. So I'm going to get 7 back up here since he's close to my size. And I'm going to pretend that I went under his arm and ended up here There's the Sankyo grip, right? And maybe I grab a handful of fingers, maybe not. Now then, the way we project somebody, everybody wants to do this like Ikkyo. It doesn't work. Look at my hands. They're all crossed up. I've got no leverage. In mechanics, you call that mechanical advantage. You see somebody inexperienced with tools, and they're over here like this. Oh, let me loosen this tool. Oh, it won't turn. Well, you don't have mechanical advantage. If you want mechanical advantage, you need to get here and pull it, or over here and push it. Now I have what's called mechanical advantage. Same thing applies in Aikido. So once I've got him and I go under, I barely slipped under. Now I've got him here. I still want to push on his elbow and I still want to keep him twisted. So what I can do is walk around his arm in front of him and pull. So now I'm pulling just like with the wrench. You can pull it or you can push it. And as long as you have that mechanical advantage, it'll work fine. So if I'm here, I throw him down and then walk around his arm, get in front of him, and I pull it like that. And eventually I'm pushing down, I'm pulling forward, I'm twisting his arm. They can't keep their balance and they'll eventually tumble to the floor. Now let's look what happens when I get to the floor. So let's back up a little bit, 7. And you go ahead and go right here on the line.
Sure.
Go ahead and just go down to the floor. Now, when you have him in Sankyo here, and I've still got that same grip we talked about a while ago, and here's his palm, right? I turn his palm until it's facing my knee, or if he had a longer leg, my thigh. And then I hold his palm against my thigh. Get this other leg back here, and then push with my body until he taps. I'm pushing both down and forward. And I'm holding this twist between my hand and my knee, down and forward. And can you see him tapping? That's another thing in Aikido. When you tap, it is over. And then 7, let's scoot you as close as possible right there. All right, here's another one. I've got my thumb and his thumb muscle right here. I've got my fingers around the meat of his hand. Now I kneel, keeping pressure on his arm, pulling up as I kneel, and I hug his shoulders with my knees. Now look, with this hand, I'm just going to switch hands. Take this thumb, replace this thumb. Take these fingers and replace those fingers. So 7 is still feeling the same thing. He still feels a thumb in his thumb muscle. He feels the fingers around the meat of his hand. Now I salute the flag with his hand on my chest. Again, I'm using my body, big body parts, to pin him in place. Then I take that elbow like this, and I push forward and turn with my body. So right now, it is body, entire body. Thank you, 7. It's entire body against a twisted arm. And even if you're smaller, you can so do this. 7 got me down on the ground, twisted me. He just places my hand right there on his own chest, holds it there like that, supports my elbow with his forearm, and then twists and leans forward. You get it nice and tight. It takes about this much. And you guys see it in class all the time whenever I do that one. But you can go back and rewind that and look at the details. I hope the resolution was enough as far away as we were to see that hand action. Hey, Ezra, could you turn down the volume a little bit? We can hear you in here. Ezra's actually listening to the live stream in the other room. But so I'm hearing like a 20-second delay. All right, let's check and see if we have any Questonians. Gabriella, what's up, girl? Call me. Call me. Sorry I'm late. That's okay, Julia. It's good to see you. Carboyosa girls, Febe and Valeria. Febe, you just got done with another class. Yes, sir?
Are we going to watch, like, the clips the people sent in?
We don't have any clips because no one sent any in. Please send me some clips. And those of you who graduated testing, I also sent you some nice little cutout Taekwondo figures. Cut those bad boys out. Get some grass or moss or something. Make a forest scene or a city scene or get some Matchbox cars. You can have a lot of fun. You know, when I was testing these to see if they would be fun, I thought, well, you know, I'll get down here. I'll just do my duty here and cut out one and do a project. I found myself having fun. Like, ooh, I can sit him here. And 7 gets up and like, Dad, you're 56 years old and you're playing with a cutout craft project. Oh, I know. I'm testing these for the kids to make sure they're actually fun. And 7 comes up to Chicago. Mom, is Dad doing this for the kids or is he doing it for him? And Chicago laughed and said, a little bit of both, buddy. A little bit of both. And it's true. All right, so we had Ikkyo, roll the arm forward. We had Nikkyo, it rolled the arm forward and bent it this way. Then we had Sankyo, where we walked under the arm, grabbed it in this hold, right? Right there, Sankyo, right? And oh yeah, and there's a little grip right there. Had the grip like this with Sankyo. In all 3 cases, the arm rolls forward. Now in the next 2, the arm rolls backwards. So the arm is rolling where it would propel me backwards. If you have your thumb up, you turn it over like you're hitchhiking. That's the way your arm is getting turned, right? So number 4 is called Shiho Nage. And we're going to let 7 do this one because it is good to be shorter than your nage or uke on this one, but you can't be too short because you kind of got to get in right at their shoulder. So this time when I grab 7's wrist, rather than putting pinky up, he's going to say, give me 5. Why? But why, Master Jeff? You did this with the other ones. Think about it. Which way did we roll the arm with the other ones? This way. This time we're going to roll the arm this way. So you need to be chambered in the opposite direction. So with a cross hand grab, to roll it forward, I need to start here and roll forward. To roll it backwards, I need to start here and roll it backwards. And you'll see. So when I grab 7's wrist, and let's get this, when I grab 7's wrist, he's going to say, give me 5, like that. Then when I grab, he grabs. And look, it's just a mountain climber's grip. Here's the thing. It's the mountain climber's grip for both of us. So he can push my arm with the other hand and go under. And there's Shiho Nage. So let's go back. Or, whoops, from the same grip, I can push his elbow and go under and have him in Shiho Nage. So it's a double-edged sword, the Shiho Nage. Once you turn over and you get that mountain climber's grip, double-edged sword, whoever gets there first. Thing is, it's very hard to switch gears. If you're busy on the attack and you grab somebody's wrist, you're not thinking of going into Shiho Nage. You're thinking of grabbing their wrist and doing XYZ, fill in the blank. He's thinking of Shiho Nage. So yes, the grip works both ways, but do you think of it? Usually not. Usually he's thinking, oh, here it comes. Here's Shiho Nage, and there's no way I'm going to reverse that on him. Just about no way. So let's watch 7 again. He says, give me 5. He grabs, and then he wants to push this elbow under, so get your thumb up. Here's why. So he's going to leave his hand right in that position, thumb up. When he gets to here, now look, it's like a palm strike, right? So he can easily control my elbow like that, see? If he puts his thumb down, let's try it again. If he puts his thumb down, like a palm strike like this, now when he goes under, look at his hand. It's all screwed up. He has no control. So you say, give me 5. You grab, you put this thumb up, support their elbow and head under this way. And when you get around there, you'll be like this, controlling their elbow. All right, so let's look at a few Shiho Nage. That's the Shiho Nage immobilization, right? So then you have the Shiho Nage pin, which we rarely do in class, but if the novices are watching, they know Shiho Nage pin. So let's look at it a little bit. So once again, I'm going to pretend I went under 7's arm. He went, let's see, all the way to here. I end up here with elbow control when I go under, like that. Now then, a word of caution. If I take his arm out like this, I am using his forearm to crank his shoulder backwards this way, and eventually it is really easy to rip out their rotator cuff. And this is how you, quote, break somebody's arm with Aikido or Jiu-Jitsu. It's not like you take the bones and break it. It's really kind of a misnomer. you break cartilage or you twist it apart. And as I often say in class, sometime if your mom will let you for Christmas, you take that turkey and tear it apart with your bare hands. Once you get a hold of that wing, you think that's pretty strong, it ain't coming apart. Well, if you grab it and you turn it over while it's bent, like with Nikyo, it'll pop right loose, dude. And then all that's holding it together is the skin, you'll see. And the same thing, you take a turkey leg out like this, well, it won't do anything, you can't break it. Well, if you hold the knee, get a hold of the drumstick and twist it, it will twist that joint, it'll twist the thigh right off the body at the hip bone of the turkey, which is essentially what's happening with this. This would be like the hip bone of the turkey. So you're taking the turkey leg and the turkey drumstick, you turn the turkey drumstick like this, it'll break it right off, and it'll do the same thing to your arm. So with your body, be very careful about that. Once we get to here, for safety, and even if you're going to immobilize somebody like a police officer, they don't want to break this guy's rotator cuff. They're going to be in court for the rest of their lives. Plus, maybe the guy's just drunk and disorderly. You don't want to cripple the guy. You just want to immobilize him, pin him. So we push his elbow up against his head. And this guy, if he's smart, see how he's holding his elbow? He holds his elbow to his head. Then if I try to push it over, I might pull his body over and he might fall, but he's not going to lose his rotator cuff. So we're going to keep it against his head and we're going to keep rolling it backwards. And of course, when it rolls backwards, there's nothing for him to do but fall down. In the standing pin, if I'm holding it with my right hand, then I want my right, oh, let's get you back a little bit. If I'm holding it with my right hand, then I want my right foot under his shoulder. And now I'm holding his elbow like this so he can't roll out like that. If he rolls out like that, he gets up, now we're just square dancing, right? So back over here, rolling over. You have him like this, so I've got the same hand, and then this foot can go all the way back to his leg. So it's almost like I have my back to it. Now I've got his elbow, and I pick up on his wrist. Puts a lot of pressure on the wrist. Here's another one. Let's scoot you around here. See his wrist bent like this, right? You can also place his wrist on the ground as far forward as you can, so his knuckles are touching, but not his wrist. And then if I push down, it puts pressure on that wrist. Now what would happen if I were to do this? Right down on his elbow. It'll take that wrist, boop, pop it right loose. So once again, be very, very careful. Another thing is, when you have them for a pin, they can just roll out while you're holding them in the pin. Okay, roll back over. Oh, other one. This way. So I can take this foot, throw it over his body. Now he can't roll anywhere, right? Then I just put some body weight on him, and I've still got his elbow and his hand right here. I should have worn my black uniform so you could see the contrast. And then I pick up on that wrist. And there he goes. Very good. All right, that was Shihonage, the first one that takes the arm rolling backwards. And we even got a couple of Shihonage pins. The next one, and 7, thank you very much. Let's get Zoe up here for a Kote Gaeshi. Kote Gaeshi is basically Shihonage, the one we just did at more of a distance. So Shihonage, uke ends up here. Kote Gaeshi, uke ends up here. Shihonage, Kote Gaeshi. Number 4, number 5. So to get there, well, let's back up a little bit for just a minute. You can also practice Kote Gaeshi with yourself. Because as you'll see in a minute, when I grab her right wrist, she's just going to forget her right wrist, and she's going to take her left hand and grab my hand and turn it over, peel it off of the grab. So if it's left to right, you can do that to yourself, right? So you just put your pinky right here. Your thumb right here on the back of your pinky knuckle, and you wrap these fingers right around your wrist. And you apply pressure like that to bend the wrist over, right? So that's the first step. And then you go right toward their thumb, turn out this way. So you've got it bent, and then you twist out, right? And Kota Gaeshi, it sounds so exotic. What a fancy word. What does it mean? Like wisdom of the smoky Japanese mountains? No. Kota means wrist, Gaeshi means turn. So it means wrist turn. So yes, you bend the wrist, you also turn it out. Wrist turn. Kota Gaeshi. So when Zoe and I are practicing this with one another, I can just come up like this and offer surgeon's hands. Like the surgeon just washed his hand, he's about to work on a COVID-19 person, so he's got his hands like this. And they don't turn their hands like this because the tendency is to touch stuff. They'll turn them around like this. So remember, don't touch anything on my way to the operating room. They hold them up like this. And then the first thing they touch when they get there is their tools, and then they're into it. So you do surgeon's hands, and we'll just do one for now. Zoe's going to grab it with both her hands. She's going to bend it forward. And now, using my hand, she's going to turn my forearm that way. Kota Gaeshi. Just like we talked about a while ago with the turkey drumstick and thigh, you can do a Kota Gaeshi. You bend that drumstick right to a 90-degree angle with the thigh. You turn it, the thigh will pop right loose from the turkey body. Let's scoot out just a little bit. So now, to help her practice, and let's get about 45 degrees. Yeah, there we go. I'll do surgeon's hand. She chooses a hand. She grabs it, bends it, turns it out. I tap. She grabs the other hand. She bends it. She turns it out. Kota Gaeshi. And she can go back and forth. Just like that. And then she holds her surgeon's hands up. And I practice the same thing. Bend, out. Bend, out. Just like that. Now, of course, nobody's going to come up like this. This is just a way to practice, right? To practice getting into position. So from a cross grab, if I'm grabbing her, she thinks about how she wants to have me. Remember, she wants me like this. So she needs to get her hand like this along my hand. So she comes in from this way with her other hand, like this, and grabs me there. Can you see that? It's really easy to want to just get comfortable and grab it like this. That's for Sankyo, rolling the arm forwards. She wants to grab like this so she can peel it off, and then look, there's surgeon hands. Turn it out, just like that. One more time. I'm grabbing. She's coming in from the behind. Kota Gaeshi. Very good, just like that. Now, boy, I wish we had like a table or something to demonstrate the pins. Yeah, there's not really one light enough to grab quickly enough. Note for next time, bring an operating table. So I can operate. All right, so with Zoe, she can grab my fingers since my wrist is so big. Doesn't matter what she grabs, because when I come in here like this and turn that wrist over, it compromises her grip, and I can pull right out of there. And then I take her over. Let's back up here. So when she falls down, I want to walk around her head and keep her fingers pointing away from me, like that. And then I push her hand down. And once again, if I'm holding her with my left hand, I've got my left foot forward. And I get her all the way on her tummy, all the way on her tummy. I push down with my hand and forward with my knee, just like that. And notice I've got her wrist bent there, so I can push down on that wrist joint, forward on the shoulder joint with my leg. And I've got this foot braced back here with a big guy. With Zoe, I weigh like 10 tons. There's like 10 of Zoe's in me. So then I'm pushing down and forward like that, right? Also, we can change this. You stay right there. We can change this into a Sankyo grip or a handshake. Now I can leave this same left hand here. I've switched hands, right? I had left and left. Now I'm going right and left. And then I step over this way, step over her body. So let's turn you. This way. So I had her in Kota Gaeshi like this. Then I switch hands like a handshake, right? So I'm here, I just hand it off like a handshake. Then I can support with this hand too, however. Then I take this back leg and I step over her body. Now I break her elbow right over my knee. and it just pulls everything loose from their shoulder, elbow, and wrist all at the same time. So that's a pretty brutal pin. Pin and a maiming. Yes, pin and disfigurement. And of course, you wouldn't do that to somebody unless you had to take them out. So you manage to get them and get them on the ground, and you hear another guy back there trying to kidnap your other kid or attacking your wife. He's like, sorry, dude, if I let you up, you're just going to attack me from behind. So you just pop that shoulder right out of there and leave him to wonder why his thumbs turn the wrong direction. He's trying to clap his hands like this, because he done broke his shoulder rotator cuff loose. All right, so that was Ikkyo, Nikkyo, Sankyo, Shihonage, Kotagayeshi, forward, 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 backwards, backwards. And then the last two are gross body motions. Not gross like you haven't taken a shower in a week. I take a shower every week, whether I need it or not. But gross as in whole. It's kind of a whole body thing. And the first one, number 6, conveniently continues with the roll the arm backwards theme. So 7, come on back up, Daddy.
Yes, sir.
So 7's grabbing cross grab. I say, give me 5. And I roll him just like I was on my way to do Shihonage and go under his arm. Except instead, this arm comes up. I step in behind him, and I lift his chin here, and I keep tension on this arm so I can pull his head. Without tension on the arm, I just push him away and nothing happens. So I stretch him out like this, stretch him out, and then drop him down, just like that, right onto his back. And you have the leg behind them, but not to sweep them. A sweep is a whole different thing, and a sweep is great. This is not a sweep. This is a gross body motion. And this one, it helps to be taller, because you come in right under that chin and push them right down. And if you can get the chin up and the head back, the body will follow. So this one ends up being kind of a combo of a throw and a projection, because you're dropping them straight down. On the one hand, you don't still have a hold of them, so it's not really a pin, but on the other hand, they're right in front of you, so it's not really a projection. So it's kind of a pinjection kind of a thing. All right, then last but not least, we have Irime Nage. And with this one, you just forego the grip altogether. It kind of happens before the grip. So when he's grabbing my hand, I bat it away and come right in, just like that. Once again, I'm going to catch him under the chin. And now I do want to step behind, not to sweep him, but to bring my body forward. So I'm cutting a line, not exactly straight through him, but kind of that way. Right? Because my arm's on this side, my body's 45 degrees to him. So I step right through like that. Right through where my body is when I'm up against him. Now, if I was right in front of him, okay, I'd move straight forward. But if I'm here and move straight forward, it doesn't have the same leverage as when I take his chin up and I go right, direct line, body, space where I want him to fall. So I'm turning him over, getting that back bent, and I'm cutting right through his body with Irime Nage. I-R-I-M-E, Irime. Irime Nage. And this one is another, it just plants them right on the ground. It doesn't twist the arm any direction. So we have 1, Ikkyo, 2, Nikkyo, 3, Sankyo, 4, Shihonage, 5, Kotagayeshi, and then 6, Kokyunage, and then 7, Irime Nage. Irime means coming in. So it's the entering throw. Irime Nage, entering throw, just like that. Now, with Irime Nage, you can do a roll, right, 7?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with Irime Nage, Uke can make it look really interesting. If he feels himself going down, he can turn out of it this way and roll. So you just jump that way and roll. Or let's see, maybe with this hand, so you can turn this one. Which shoulder do you like to go over? That one? Oh, okay. Okay, very good. So he feels himself going down. He feels himself going down, so he turns and he rolls like that. Let's try it from the other side, actually. So he's going to grab. I'm batting him out of the way. He turns into it and rolls like that. And then it looks like he just banged him across the room and made him fall down. Not actually, not really. What he did is he didn't want to go down on his back, so he rolled out of it. He twisted out of it right as he felt it happening, and then rolled out, and he ends up standing up. So it's a very dramatic looking projection, but it's actually the uke escaping, the uke minimizing damage to himself. All right, what do we got going on here? What are you guys talking about in this chat? Yeah, it's about time. It is about time for us to go. Bonillas, what is up? MJ, what is up? Youch, Valeska, not, yeah, youch. A lot of these, Aikido is, I means harmony, Ki means energy, and Do means way of life. So it's the harmonic energy way of life. So a lot of people come into Aikido, oh, I want to do Aikido because it's so much more peaceful. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can take a turkey drumstick and break the leg right off the carcass. And you can do the same thing with a rotator cuff. Peaceful, and it can be peaceful, but it can also be very nasty. What else we got going on here? Hi, GTGMJ. Bye, everybody.
I gotta go.
Oh, I've got to go. I thought you meant I'm good to go. Yeah, too bad. We will miss you. And Gabriela Reyes is still there, looks like. So cool, says the Nod Sisters. Thank you. Uh-oh. And Edenhold 14,
Message return.
which is the Rosalos, removed a message. They retracted a statement. Perhaps they said, Master Jam sucks. Ooh, better delete that. All right, guys. So there is the basic 7 of Aikido with a little extra twist and jazz on a couple of them. I'm really sorry. I'm really frustrated I didn't wear my black uniform so that it would stand out against the white to make the contrast greater. But hopefully, especially if you watch it later, I've been doing them in really high res. So hopefully if and when you watch them later, you'll be able to blow it up, put it in slow motion, and kind of see what's going on. Hi. Yep. Oh, the white uniforms. You get the white uniform with the black belt. Oh, and by the way, where did I put that thing? It's right down there. There it is, the red subscribe button. Right down there, I can see it. Just go ahead and poke that red subscribe button. Also, look for the icon that looks like this. You want to press that. Do not press this. It gives you coronavirus. Actually, it gives your computer the digital version of coronavirus. You can't get rid of it. It's very contagious, and you'll lose your job. So subscribe right down there. Poke this one. Avoid this one like the plague. And I guess we are out of here. Guys, thanks for coming to Aikido Day. And we will see you next time. We are out of here. This has been a South Miami Taekwondo live stream with Master Jeff. Avoid practicing the techniques learned in live stream with Master Jeff while drunk, stoned, sloshed, tipsy, buzzed, blotto, slammed, plowed, jolly, play-eyed, hammered, wasted, inebriated, or otherwise intoxicated. Watching live stream with Master Jeff, you acknowledge the possibility of and leave all liability for hematoma, laceration, occipital fracture, broken nose, acute mandibular dislocation, strained wrist, hyperextended elbow, broken ribs, bruising, or bleeding, tears, sprains, fractures, dislocated shoulder, or concussion. All rights reserved. Unauthorized presentation and publication strictly prohibited. What are you guys still doing here? Wow, what's up with this, bro? You're in my space. This is my space. Go home. It's over. Bye. Jeez. Go home. It's over. Bye.